I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs blown. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
Rock bottom make a man and some pressure make a gemstone. Try to put $1 to my name like Creflo. Niger boy, late to the game, it's in the blood flow. And I'm from the south, it's thick skin and tough bone. Big attitude through big lips with gusto. Trust no kings, that's why they tried to crush souls. But it's IGBO, when the dust blow, this old head be standing there. No silver, just gold. Crack no books on the hustle, I was born to grind. Yo, I'm scared of your potential, I'm adorned with mine. 30 times around the sun, man, of course I shine. My legacy will not dwarf with time. And in my daughter's eyes, it's basic, I must not say quit. Every day sees a present like a Rob St. Nick. Walk a fine line between tenacious and patient. I can't slip, I'm fighting clocks and they can't win.
I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror? Oh, oh. Gonna turn all of my stones.
Impeccably I flow, hardest raps you know, breaking status quo, reaping what I sow, artistry like Van Gogh. Get it from my mama, hip so thick that I need tempo. Personality, spicy body banging like a bongo. Cause black women been it since Timbuktu since Pharaoh. Sponge rollers and hot combs, lips, cheeks and brow bones. If you ain't for the culture, then please stay out of my zone. These little dummy rappers could never grace my headphones. See, I'm from a place in space where ain't no storytelling, you just had to have been there. If you want the battle, ain't no problem, say where. I got so much experience, I can't even play fair. But I'ma keep evolving and growing and hurting feelings and showing. You need endurance to go in, I got mileage on this pen. I've been busy cause I've been out here schooling all these kids. Took 3 decades to have this glow up that I did.
I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror? Oh, oh. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. Turn all of my
checking shoes last night to see if he was barefoot. Is that still the case? Is he barefoot? Because I know on Facebook somebody posted a picture of these could be his shoes, or is that so he is presumed to be barefoot at this point?
What I can say is that his mom says all of his shoes are accounted for at the house. I'm not going to say that he's barefoot.
All right.
Allegedly!
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. Here's a brief disclaimer for tonight's show. Let's watch.
That's ignorant! Allegedly, that's ignorant! Ignorant.
Judgment, Austin.
Oi, you read my thoughts. You've got the shinin.
You mean shining?
Shh, you wanna get sued?
Judgment, Austin.
You just use that shin of yours to call me and I'll come a running. But don't be reading my mind between 4 and 5. That's Willie's time.
Hey, yo, father. I love it when he does that.
Let's watch.
Don't get me back to good bullshit.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. And it's so good to have everyone here today. Thank you so much for joining me for another tough conversation. I did take an extra day off and was doing some research into a couple of things I've been working on, but then also something was brought to my attention today that I felt like we really needed to discuss. So I think that even though it may not have seemed like a big impact going to the gathering of voices that Bullhorn Betty held at the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, maybe a lot of people don't think much about it. But I, on the other hand, think that we made a huge difference. I think that we taught people that they can stand up for themselves, that we, the people, have more power than we think we have, right? And oh gosh, somebody's going to threaten us or hurt us if we do this. If we stand up against an injustice, boy, we might get retaliation. But guess what? It's more important to stand up for what you believe in than to regret never standing up at all, because there's a lot of problems here and they just keep seeping out little by little as the last couple months have happened. We've exposed a lot of people, or they've exposed themselves, quite literally in the story I'm going to bring you today, where a teacher who is married to a school board member, well, she's on the board. She's also herself a teacher. Didn't do anything when her husband exposed himself to a 17-year-old girl at school. Now he's saying, oh, it was an accident, probably trying to get himself out of trouble. But I'm not having it. Neither is Clarksville. They had a school board meeting yesterday where everyone stood up against this. Let me show you. So this was yesterday at the school board meeting, because I'm sure they had to wait for a school board meeting to come up for them to be able to go and do this. But many different signs, many people saying that they are not okay with it. And if you are, then that makes you exactly who we're standing up against. And I would agree. I would have to agree. Hello, Chuchi. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. And Sasha, so good to see you. Thank you for taking some time out to listen to me before you go to work. I hope you don't work too hard. Hey, Sam. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Yes, I tried to do as many day shows as I can, but of course, I like to do the night shows the best. And Eric with an H is here. He says, I'm doing the dragon hop, the hibbity hop. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. That's hilarious. I love that. That made my day. Thanks, Eric. And Peggy, so good to see you. Thank you for being here. And Holly is here. Hey, Holly. And thank you, Chuchi. And I agree with what you're saying when it comes to where are the children going to be safe, right? We have to be their army. We have to be the ones to stand up for them, because it's not good enough for somebody to say, oh, that was an accident. And, yeah, I didn't mean to do it. Bull crap. And then the young girl feels like she has to be in a horrible situation and she has to retract her statement. I don't think so. I don't think the parents are okay with this at all, or they wouldn't be at the school board meeting in numbers holding up signs like they are, right? Drain the CMCSS swamp. Funny how they don't want us to talk about these issues. And I was even reluctant to talk about it because, I have to make some money on my YouTube channel. I can't keep getting demonetized for talking about these predators. And that's what I've been talking about this whole time. And I refuse to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to. So if they want to take money or hide my video for 24 hours and wait to see if it fits the standard, that's fine. But there's a certain standard that I'm trying to hold these schools to. As Chuchi is saying, schools are supposed to be a safe place for our children. We can't even trust teachers. I mean, you can't even trust teachers. The guy in the segment that we watched the other day says you can't even trust your own mom anymore. I mean, it's bad. Enough is enough. It's time to take a stand for our children. We cannot let them be in this environment where someone's in authority over them that is in a position of trust, and they're taking that and taking advantage of it. I mean, no. If you're going to have pictures like that on your phone and you're going to show, I mean, what sorry, what could he possibly have to show this child on his phone? Because I don't know about you, but I don't need a grown-ass man showing my daughter anything on his phone. I don't care what it is. There's school devices for that. They have a computer that if you're a teacher, you take the child over to the computer and you guide them and show them something. Whatever you're showing them on the phone can be shown on the school protected server. But that's where the big major problem comes in. And another problem is just society in general, because there's a lot of people out there that, oddly enough, when I pulled this up today to show all of you guys this article, I have two to show you. This first one is featuring a nice solution to our problem. Oddly enough, we have the Wood Chipper 5000 available to take care of the issue. Because I'm here to tell you more and more and more that these children are being exposed to and corrupted by their own teachers, the administrators, and then the guy has a wife who has the authority to take him out, and she didn't. She didn't do a damn thing about it. She just let it happen. So, let me see if YouTube is okay with me showing this. Okay. Oh, good. Okay, so it is. All right, there we are. Okay. So let me bring this in really quick so I can show you who we're talking about today. All right, here we go. And this is going to be Clarksville, Tennessee. Now, I'm still unsure of when all of this transpired. So, I'm not sure. But it seems to have been sometime in February. But I think I have some more dates in the video. So I apologize. I made this video kind of last minute just because I wanted to show you who we're dealing with. Because, of course, there wasn't any pictures when they talk about it because they're trying to silence the victim, in my opinion. So, accident or intentional? And that's the only question I'm asking today, is if you guys think that this was an accident or intentional. So we have the parents at the meeting yesterday, school board meeting, March 24th, 2026. Your silence is deafening. Protecting predators makes you a predator. This one talks about the Epstein list, and I have these more in close up so we can read them a little bit better. Drain the CMCSS swamp. The parents are fed up. They're sick of it. It's ridiculous. All right? I mean, it's crazy that they're allowing for this to happen in the schools and by teachers and administrators. Right? And then this one says, forget the Epstein list, right? CMCSS. And then it goes on, right? And it's showing all of this information. And whoever made this sign, I would really like to know more about these dates and what they represent, because I can't make it out, even though I've tried to zoom in on it. I would really like to know. So if you want to come up on my panel, or if you want me to have a conversation with you about this, please reach out to me, Lady Freedom's Raw Narratives at gmail.com, and I would be happy to have you up on a conversation. If you don't want to show your face, you don't have to. If you don't want to say who you are, you don't have to. But I would like to know what these dates represent and how much more of this has gone on. Because he's saying he simply showed her the wrong picture. Hello, Lisa. Good to see you, Stephanie. Kylie Ray, so good to have you here. Hey, Microdot, good to see you. Hey, Miss Ann Reynolds, good to see you here. And Scranton Strangler, hey, Scranton Strangler, good to see you. And Sam says, shouldn't take the whole meeting to have something done. Well, and I mean, they should know, right? They should have already been reprimanded, and I think both should have been taken out, the husband and the wife, because we're seeing in the media every single day where there's husbands and wives that are involved in this kind of activity. And it's absolutely wrong, and she's condoning it. I mean, I'd be asking him if we were married for that long, why the hell do you have a picture like that in your phone? For what? I've already seen it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Peggy. Peggy says you can't trust nobody. As a society, we need to stand up for our children, and much more, we need to protect them much better than we've, yeah, exactly, protected them, excuse me, over the course of history. Well, and I think, Peggy, it's just getting so easy for us to hear about information, or it's happening more often, it's more frequent. I don't know which one it is, but I think you're right. I mean, historically, these are the things that are frowned upon if you tell, right? If you tell someone, you run the risk of getting told that you're a liar. You run the risk that someone's not going to listen. Like they might believe you, but they're not going to do anything. So many times we've seen this, and then we see the adults who have such bad trauma that they're like numbing the pain because they just can't take it. They can't take feeling it. And as a society, it's very sad that we see some of the comments. And I'm going to tell you right now, this disgusting notion that men, and I'm sorry, I don't like to go after just men. I know women do it too. I'm just saying this disgusting notion that a female, as soon as she turns 18, she's okay. That's disgusting. That's so disgusting. It's rotten to the core. And anybody that thinks it's okay that this girl was 17, take it somewhere else. Because it's not okay. Because he's corrupting a young lady. Look at just very, very recently an old geezer, yes, an old geezer, going after a 17-year-old Haley Busby and doing horrible things to her. And then he shows the police where he put her in the woods. Like I said, I don't want to get completely demonetized on this deal, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's wrong. It has got to stop. And the sad part is I have to worry about what I'm saying, even though I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just reporting on this mess. I mean, it's disgusting. Those adults in that state have to have real problem controlling themselves around kids. I mean, Sam. And it's like, you can see there's a lot of parents here that are like, this is so wrong. Thank God for them sticking up. Because, yeah, it seems like a real issue. And it seems like some people are totally okay with it. And last time we had a show, at my very last live, I shared a list of those who voted to keep a secret and who voted not to keep a secret some wrongdoings on the highest level. And there are absolutely way more that want to keep this shit under wraps than there are that want to expose it. It's sick. Well, and that's the thing. I understand that too, Chuchi. Like, if they're going to take the kids' phones, they need to be taking the adults' phones. But it's crazy because more so, the bigger issue is that they're in a position of trust. They're in an authoritative position, but they're also to be trusted, right? We hear Eric Craddock talk about we need to get to the kids. We need to get to the kids. Well, I think you guys should leave the kids alone because you're not getting to them in the right ways. And you're leaving it up for adults to just go ham and do whatever they want to do. And then say, oh, I didn't mean to. It was an accident. No, I don't think so. I don't think it was an accident. I don't. And I don't think it should ever be condoned as an accident. Peggy says it should be shown where the whole class can see it. Yeah, well, that's another thing. Yeah, what was he privately showing her? That's a bigger question too. When he wants to say, "Oh, well, it was an accident. I didn't mean to show that." I mean, you absolutely have to click into your photos. If you're on your phone, you click into a photo and then you show somebody. What was he doing? Scrolling through his phone? Yeah, I don't think there would be a big deal of made about it if it was an accident. I really don't. You know, we have to keep the kids safe. We have to. Hey, Jilly, good to see you. We have to. Hey, Pete Slovin Jeeps is here. So good to see you. And Sandy. Oh, you guys need to go watch. Also, I reposted Jen's video and hyped it of the search for Sebastian. So, hey, Sandy. But yeah, I am excited about the search. I think it was great that they did that. Really great. And I know there's going to be more too. We just need men to go help. We need men calling all men, please help. We need this many in Sumner. Wish someone would expose Craddock's rape is such a strong word. I prefer I know. There's so many that don't know about it, Jane. Hey Jane. There's so many that don't know about Sheriff Snuggle Struggle's comment. And you know, he did. He said RAPE that he doesn't like the word RAPE. He prefers a snuggle struggle. Right? I mean, what sheriff says that? And then don't forget Hendersonville teacher, criminology teacher, and basketball coach, who was a former Hendersonville police officer, just got in trouble for touching 3 girls in one day. I mean, it's like I couldn't make it up, you know? And they are not aware of it. They are just not. He cleans up really nice. Yeah, so I just found out about it today, Jane, because it's been going on for a little while. It's been going on on Facebook and TikTok mainly for a little while. Exactly, Lisa. Thank you. If people do not take a stand against this in schools, they will try to normalize it in society too. And it seems like they want to just say, oh, well, he didn't mean to, so it's really no big deal. I mean, I think that is a big deal. Again, because I think why would you be showing her your phone anyway? But, you know, yeah, it's that's for sure. Sandy says, "I think it's getting better, just not fast enough. Speed it up. There is so much more than can be done to protect our kids. 17 is not an adult." That's right, Sandy. And you know, again, this culture, like I was watching about that bad baby girl, like she's the one that was on Dr. Phil and she was a bad kid and her mom brought her there and she was saying, catch me outside," and it was a whole big thing. And you know, then she went to that Turnabout Ranch where she was abused over there. And then when she got out of the Turnabout Ranch, everybody wanted to market her because she had become extremely popular because of that phrase that she used on the Phil show. And so but how she ended up making money because her mother ended up stealing all the money that she made after she got out of the Turnabout Ranch. Then the poor girl, she turns around and she decides, I'm going to do an only FANS, I don't know if we can say that over here, account, and made a whole bunch of money because she put up provocative photos of herself right as she turned 18. And there were all of these nasty, perverted, old, weird cheetahs, Chester cheetahs, out there waiting to pounce on it. This, I mean, it's been going on in society with this nastiness for a long time. And that's what most people, a lot of people were saying. I shouldn't say most people, but a lot of people were saying that, Sandy. Oh, okay, well, it's okay if she's 17. No, it's not. It's actually not okay. It's disgusting. I know. And Jane, and even worse than that, how do people sleep next to their husband knowing that? You know, sleep right next to him knowing, and then also allowing him to work with children knowing what he's done. I mean, at the very least, if you think you can get him some help or whatever, take him away from the kids, get him the help that he needs and make up an excuse. I would rather somebody make an excuse up like that than the latter, because she's just basically leaving it like, oh, well, go ahead and work with more kids, you sick fuck. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, the wife is just fine. She didn't do anything, Holly. She didn't do anything about it. Hello, Mama. Good to see you. Yeah, she did not. And I don't think it's no accident. Sam says it ain't no effing accident. I'm sure there's not the only person who didn't want to see that pic and got it. And how did the teacher get her number? Well, and see, I don't know that he actually sent it to her. And that's the thing, Sam. I think it might have been the beginning to some kind of a grooming, is my opinion. If he only sent her, or excuse me, if he only showed her this picture, like they're making it out to be, I'm going to read the article. Um, then I think it was the beginning of grooming, right? Like he was probably grooming her for a little bit and then ended up showing her this, and then she told, is the best of my knowledge of the situation. Um, but I think it's definitely intentional. Yeah, yes, Jane, I covered that too. We just had a Gallatin High School criminal justice teacher assault 3 girls. He was a freaking Hendersonville police officer for 10 years. I know, Jane. I know. I know. It's rotten to the core. It really is. Oh, thank you, Holly, for your super sticker. Thank you so much. That's so appreciated. Aw, helps me out with YouTube demonetization. I mean, I really don't care though. I'm like, again, like, I'm of the I would like to show you guys this happening over and over again than us to do a different subject and then talk about something else. It's like, no, here it is again. And thank you very much, Mama, for gifting a Lady Freedom's Raw Narratives membership. And if you got a membership, please say thank you to Mama and welcome to the Dragon Tribe. Mama, that's so sweet of you, and thank you very, very much. Well, exactly, Sandy. It doesn't matter how old our kids get, because look, these people have different propensities for violence, for hurting someone else, controlling, violating another person. That's really what it comes down to when we're talking about, what Snuggle Struggles doesn't like to hear. That's the outcome. It's somebody that is not even really attracted to this person. They just want to control and hurt them. That's all it is. It's nothing to do with, you know, anything but that. Hello, KJ Mack. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Sebastian opened my eyes to what's been going on. I mean, Jane, I think that the main reason I am talking about any of this kind of stuff is because of Sebastian, because I think it all goes back to Sebastian. You know, we all know his dad lives out by Clarksville, right? And so this is the same area, right, in which Sebastian lives, a county over, right? It's Davidson County now, in Tennessee. But I think that us standing up for Sebastian is helping for other people to stand up for themselves as well. You don't typically see uh, people out there protesting and doing it in a way that is effective, like I think this is, right? They're not like, turning over the chairs and, doing this and that. They're just bringing in signs that they've made from their heart, and they're showing, look, we are not okay with this. And why wasn't anything done before? When they want to say everything is just so safe and hunky dory, it's not. And especially for the kids, Yeah, they can't drink until they're 21. Sandy, boom, exactly. So it's not okay to drink alcohol until you're 21, but it's okay to have some weird old man have some kind of fascination with you. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it blows my mind. I'm hearing about some of these kids who were in family YouTube channels growing up and doing, yes. Oh my gosh. Oh, Holly, I went down that rabbit hole too before. um, and it was just something that popped into my algorithm one day, and I was clicking on it. Um, Ruby Frankie was a big one that kind of, and that's probably why I was watching some of her stuff and learning more about her situation as a family vlogger kind of a thing. And oh my gosh, it's a major rabbit hole where they make tons and tons of money and these kids are left with nothing. It's sick that people think the way that way, and she's officially 18, bro, legally. Yeah, but you're still sick. Exactly. Sam, she made millions off of that. That little girl, the catch me outside, catch me outside girl. She made a bunch of money because of all these sickos. And perfectly legal. Da 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 da. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, some of these people are absolutely looking at that and saying, "Oh, well, she's 17." Okay, well, that doesn't matter to me. You know that you're sending this to a student. You are in a position of power, and that has nothing to do whatsoever with what you did, right? I think so too, Chuchi. I think she's just as sick. I do. I do. I know. I know. Yeah, Jane. I can't believe not everybody has seen that. I would like to take an ad in the newspaper, but I don't know if they would let me do that. you know? I would like to take out an ad in the newspaper. Hey, did you guys see what old Sheriff Craddock says about, I mean, this is the thing. The saddest part for me is that I know there's so many good people there. That's the saddest part. And thank you so much, Jane, for your super sticker. I mean, I just think it's really disheartening that people have to put up with that, um, because all of the higher up people are pushing for it, right? And then no one is running against him. Like you said, he's running unopposed. So it's really a tough situation, like an uphill battle trying to get somebody else in. Absolutely. KJ Max says, I think the number of Chester cheetahs out there is much higher than we know, especially thanks to all the internet access. Yes, to nether bits. Exactly. Well, and that's the thing. When we get those little pieces, right, and then people are putting it out there and people are talking about it, because, again, I had no idea this was going on. And I do search their news a lot, just because of Sebastian and his case and, putting things together, and I didn't see it. Again, someone sent this over to me today and I was like, oh my gosh, because I'm still working on another piece for the gun that was brought to school. Um, I don't want to say which school. You could probably help me out with that one. But I'm working on a piece for that, that goes with what Eric Craddock was saying when he was on the show with Deanna DeWitt, because she has a whole YouTube channel that's like called Growing Pains, and it's supposedly about, a thriving Sumner County and its challenges. But if you're thriving, then you don't have as many challenges. And I think that is an oxymoron, and I think she is a moron. And yeah, I was working on a piece for that, but then I figured, okay, I need to show this as well. So this is part of the parents and what their concerns are at the school board meeting. This one says, this is also equally intriguing to me. Again, if you would like to expose some of what's going on, or if there has been another cover up that you know about, please contact me, ladyfreedomsrawnarratives@gmail.com. This sign says, not the first cover up. We stand with the kids. So what other cover ups have been? What are we talking about here? Because I know that the area is very corrupt. I've seen it with my own two eyes. And even when I've second guessed myself, I've been shown that I was doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So what is this? I want to know more. Because I don't think it's the first cover up either, right? And again, this is Clarksville, Davidson County, Tennessee. All right, so I did a little bit of a meta thingy because I wanted to see, a compilation of everything that was out there thus far. So it says, a scandal is unfolding in Clarksville, Tennessee, where a Montgomery County, or excuse me, where a Montgomery Central high school teacher, who is also the husband of a school director, is under investigation for allegedly showing inappropriate images to female students during class. Oh, excuse me, to a female student during class. The incident has sparked widespread attention and concern, with many calling for swift action. According to reports, the investigation is still ongoing and details about the allegations are limited. The school administration has not publicly commented on the matter, but local news outlets are closely following the story. The community is shaken by the news, and many are questioning the safety and supervision measures in place at the schools. As the investigation continues, residents are looking for answers and demanding accountability. The drama has exploded in recent days, with social media platforms like TikTok buzzing with updates and reactions. The post from 931 Seville, a local news outlet, has garnered significant engagement with over 944 likes and 33 comments, right? So I wanted to add in some of the comments that I found that were a little interesting or maybe even appalling. I don't know. So this one was from Twitter. Matthew Vetter, right, a teacher at Montgomery Central High School and husband to CMCSS District Director of Schools, Dr. Jean Luna Vetter. She does go by Luna Vetter, guys, just so you know. But she is a doctor, right? She's got her doctorate. So has been placed on alternate worksite off school property for showing nude photos of himself to a senior female student. A report stated that the teacher accidentally showed the nude photo while trying to share another photo with the student. Again, I don't want some old geezer showing my 17-year-old anything on his cell phone. Gross. With his bald head. I'm telling you what. So nasty. I mean, just foul. Vetter admitted to law enforcement that he did show a nude photo, and investigators said that the photo was deleted before he was questioned. Oh, okay. How convenient. Hey, Catherine. How convenient. So he deleted this before anybody got a chance to see it. Did they retrieve that? Because nothing's gone forever. If he deleted it, they can get it off of his device. Are they even working to do that? Montgomery County teacher allegedly showed a nude photo of himself to his female student. This is March 15th. So the accused teacher is the husband of CMCSS Director of Schools, Jean Luna Vetter. And that's from Cherry Reeves, Main Street, Clarksville. Right? They got Main Street Media out there, Main Street, Clarksville. Now, this idiot, Josh Wicke, he puts, the student seemed to think it was an accident. The sheriff's department thinks it was an accident. It appears all parties believe it was an accident. Were you there, Josh? You fucking weirdo. Were you there? You sick little bastard. Because I don't think you were, and I don't think that's your daughter. And if it was your daughter, you'd be singing a different tune. I guarantee ya. All right, this person says, sure, it was big accident, right? Yeah, so I don't know how to take that one. I think she's trying to say it's bullshit, but you know, she does make kind of a funny about it. Allie says to block the troll. Sorry, I didn't mean to put that one in there, but it kind of mixed in. And then this person says, WTF, there is no accidental showing of nude photos of himself. Boom. Cynthia wins the prize, right? For the best comment out of 4. Because that's what everybody should have been saying. You know what? And we have Catherine with a K in here too. Hello, Catherine with a K and Catherine with a C. Disgusting, right, Mama? It's awful. And these people condoning it, right? And I understand some people do use humor in order to, deflect from a horrible situation. I get it. I do the same. It's a coping mechanism. You can't unsee that, right? Exactly. And did he apologize and immediately go to the school and say, "I'm so sorry. I was showing her a picture from, we saw some kind of a animal or something, or we got a new puppy dog or something, and I was showing her." No, it's not that innocent. They're trying to play it off like it was. It was not innocent at all. It was absolutely him showing her an inappropriate picture, and then she told, and then all of a sudden it's an accident, right? And he's deleting it off his phone. All right, so then they call it a photo fumble. So I thought that this was interesting. So Clarksville drama explodes. School district's husband. Clarksville drama explodes with the directors caught uh, in a scandalous photo fumble. Woo Clarksville education scene. All right. So, in my opinion, this is not a photo fumble. This was absolutely something that he did on purpose. And again, I want to know more about this list over here. So many more have had a problem, right? I want to know about this. If anybody wants to email me, I will keep it private, and only share what you ask me to, but I think it needs to be exposed, and especially if they're not going to do it. Fumble my ass, right, Lisa? Fumble my ass. It's like, no, I don't think so. He knew exactly what he was doing. Hey, Devin. So, director's office employees. So, this is her whole info, and I don't even care. There's her email. If you're outraged and you live in that community, email her. Tell her how you feel about it. We have the right to do that. Disgrace. New schools director hired at 225,000, 5,000 less than the proposed for prior direction. Excuse me, for prior director. The Clarksville Montgomery County School Board has approved a contract for the next school director, Jean Luna Vetter, right? And that was June 10th of 22. So she's been in for a while, right? Wow. We're giving that much of the budget to someone who allows her husband to be a nasty Chester Cheetah with students, right? There he is. This guy right here. Matt Vetter. Aren't you so proud? His wife did nothing. Luna Vetter. See how she goes by Luna Vetter as well? Just in case. I think they both need to be out on their asses. Out on their asses. Exactly, or put them in another, somebody said, "Why don't you have a different folder?" I mean, at least if you know if you know that you're busting your phone out to show kids your phone at school, which, like I said, I find to be very questionable in and of itself, but if you're gonna do that, wouldn't you think you would put those in a different folder? I mean, I'm not saying that he and his wife might do that, I don't know, but maybe. I'm not that's but yeah, why would you? Oh gosh, it's unbelievable. I'm glad you're back, Miss Anne. Exactly. That's what I was wondering. Why is he carrying a picture of his own? Exactly. Yes, exactly. A teacher should know better. I know a grandparent who would know better, and we wouldn't want our grandchildren to find it. Exactly. Well, and that's the thing, Peggy. I mean, I get it. If that's, they're being spicy in their relationship or something. I'm not here to judge that. Those are two consenting adults. Now, when you're showing kids stuff off your phone and you know that you're showing them in class, does it ever occur to you that yesterday when you took a picture of yourself, that it would be on there next in your camera roll? I mean, hello. Sometimes it pops up as a freaking memory. Okay. Okay. Sometimes it's popping up in a memory and you're like, oh, snap. Okay. So come on. I mean, that's why there's a private folder in your phone, dummies. I mean, if you're going to do that, be aware, exactly. He's too freaky for his own good, Sam. But put those people in a place where they can, um, you know, be together, like the wood chipper. All right, so I think this is the end. Let's discuss it live. Yes, okay. So, and if you want to go back and look at that video without commentary, please feel free. All right, so let's pull this one up. So this is from Fox 17, Tennessee. And wonderfully, we have the advertisement for the wood chippers. I love it. All right, so Tennessee teacher under investigation allegedly shows inappropriate photo to the students. All right, Nashville, WZTV. An investigation is underway after reports say Matthew Gay Vetter, 52, a teacher at Montgomery Central High School, accidentally displayed an inappropriate photo to a student on his personal phone. So here we already have it in the news. They're saying he accidentally did it. But what was he showing this child off of his phone, Sam? What was he doing? All right. According to Clarksville Now, Vetter told MCSO investigators he was showing the student photos of a project when he swiped to a nude photo of himself by accident. Oh my God. No way. I don't buy it. I think this is bull. I think this is such bull poop right here. Wow. Bring on the wood chipper, Lisa. I did not do this myself. It's just showing an appropriate advertisement for what we're discussing. Brought to you by wood chippers. Okay, so for a better tomorrow. All right. Yeah, because he's saying he was showing her some project. I want to see the picture of a project he was showing her. Yeah. Yeah. Personal project. I'm here to tell you. Oh, mama, I can't with this. I can't. I mean, I can't. I can't. Mm-mm. Because what I want to see what he was showing her. I want to see the whole thing. Oh, yes, it is, Devin. It's in Tennessee, Nashville. It's Clarksville, Davidson County school. So, oh boy. All right. So after the report was immediately placed on alternative work site, I don't know what that is, pending the results of an investigation. Vetter is the husband of Dr. We already know this, right? I showed you guys. Dr. Jean Luna Vetter, the director of schools for CMSS Clarksville, now reports. So Dr. Luna Vetter has stepped away from any part of the disciplinary actions. So here she is. She is not a part of the investigation, but she has not stepped down from the school. She's still very much a part of the school to the best of my knowledge. Right? So she's not part of his disciplinary action, but or investigation, but she is still part of the school. According to the representatives of Clarksville Montgomery School System. See the full statement from CMCSS below. Okay, so this is their statement. Law enforcement and DCS are investigating a report that a teacher at Montgomery Central High School accidentally briefly displayed an inappropriate photo on his personal device while showing an appropriate photo to a to a student in class on Monday, March 9th. So this all happened March 9th. After it was reported, Vetter was immediately placed on alternative worksite off school property pending the outcome of the investigations. So he could very well be back working with students again, pending their investigation. I know. I know. I know. KJ, I'm right there with you. This part pisses me off too, because now they're acting like, oh, he was showing her something appropriate, but then I ended up briefly showing her something that was inappropriate, which we all know it was his ding dong. After it was reported, Vetter was immediately placed on alternative worksite off school, right? So I don't know if that means that he is working from home type of a thing, or what that means. Administrative leave, maybe. Per district protocols, CMCSS does not begin an internal investigation until all the external investigations have concluded. Dr. Luna Vetter has recused herself from any part of the investigation or disciplinary proceedings. Since there are ongoing external investigations and CMCSS has not commenced an internal investigation, I do not have additional details at this time. Well, you guys better work on getting some additional details because this is BS right here. So, of course, I want to tell you guys a proper timeline since I didn't have one to begin with. So, Monday, March 9th of 2026, Mr. Vetter, Chester Cheetah, in my opinion, exposed himself to a child. He's 52 years old, right? Teacher at Montgomery Central High School. And I do believe that this article, yes, March 17th, 2026, came out, right? And then now, let me take this down and show you this part. We have very angry and concerned teachers, probably parents, right? Attendees holding signs up to the board at CMCSS formal school board meeting on March 24th, 2026. So this just happened yesterday. So Clarksville, Tennessee, tensions ran high at the Clarksville Montgomery County School Board meeting Tuesday, the first since it became public that a Montgomery Central High School teacher showed nude photos of himself to a 17-year-old student. The incident involves science teacher Matthew Gay Vetter, 52, who admitted to investigators that he showed the student photos, but said it was an accident, according to the previous reports. But don't forget, guys, according to the previous reports that I just read you, he erased those off of his phone. So if he did this on accident, why do you erase them? The district attorney's office requested that the case be handled by outside judicial district. So they took it out of the district. The DA gave it to another one. So already this stinks. Tense atmosphere in the room. Several audience members held signs towards the board and some booed when Dr. Luna Vetter and Rep. Aaron Mayberry spoke. Before public comment began, board chairman Chris Lanier reminded attendees of the district policy prohibiting discussion of specific employees or students during open meetings while disciplinary processes are ongoing. So again, they're trying to stifle them. They are trying to quiet and silence them. They are trying to tell them to be quiet. Don't say anything else. We're handling it. You can't speak. But that's where the signs come in. Because they can't stop people from doing that. CMCSS has said it is holding off on its investigation, right? So the school is holding off on its investigation until the police are done with their investigation. Why? That sounds like you don't want to do your job, because you should absolutely be figuring out what is going on in your schools and doing an internal investigation side by side law enforcement. Side by side. There is no reason not to. No reason at all. All right, so they're waiting for that other one to be complete. Concerns about priorities. Megan Wise wearing a public school strong shirt spoke first during public comment. She referenced a recent Tennessee bill on preferred honorifics, such as Mr. and Mrs. in schools. According to WKRN, this legislation would make it optional for students and staff to use an educator's preferred honorific and was inspired by a transgender teacher in Clarksville. That raises a serious question about priorities, Wise said, because when one adult has a negative experience, legislation is written. But when students in this district experience a harm, a real harm, the board remains silent. And I think that's a really good point that she's making. What about the children? What about their voices? And how are they feeling after all of this happened? Right? Because I'm sorry, but that would make me never want to look at a teacher's phone again. Okay, well, my teacher might be having some pictures of himself in there. Gross. He needs to go. Ugh. So, Wise alluded to other situations in which students were harmed and the board did not address it publicly. Okay, so she must have been the one with the sign. When one child is shown material that is inappropriate, they remain silent, she said over and over again. These are framed as isolated incidents, but supporting means being transparent, even when it's difficult. Another father of a student says trust in the district is shattered. Adam Roger Elithrope, the father of the student involved in the Vetter incident, also addressed the board. I was told I was not permitted to discuss anything that is currently under active investigation, so I will speak generally, despite the fact that CMCSS is not currently investigating what happened to my daughter, he said. Elithrope said his trust in the district was shattered. He says it feels like parents are being intentionally kept in the dark and that protecting the district's image comes before protecting the kids, he said. He added that other families have contacted him since the incident, some saying their children felt uncomfortable before March 9th. There were signs before this, he said. Were they taken seriously? They were not. So, guys, just this right here tells me that there are more. There are more. And this father is having to go through this and he is being silenced. His trust has been shattered. Right? Other children were feeling uncomfortable before March 9th. Calls for clarity over anger. Amanda Frost, wearing public school strong shirt, urged the community to focus on facts rather than anger. I know there are many here with pitchforks ready and wanting justice, no matter what that looks like, she said. Instead of reacting, I'm asking for clarity, accountability, and facts. And I'm not going to fault her for this. I think that justice would look like the children feeling safe. And I think that that man makes all of the children uncomfortable because of what he had on his phone. And I don't think that that's anybody's fault but his own. He should have never had that on there as an administrator if he's whipping that baby out to show other kids what he's got on his phone, projects, whatever. Download it to your computer and show it to the class. I don't believe this whole accidental bullshit, especially with the way that these people are acting. Frost said she had reached out to several board members and received no response. Silence sends a message, she says. If we are serious about protecting children, then we need to stop focusing on who we are told to fear and start paying attention to what is actually happening. Because once again, it wasn't a drag or a trans person. Now, I'm not here to debate or stand up for whether they give more weight to someone who has a complaint that is a trans member or the member of the LGBTQ community. I'm not here to debate that. I don't care, to be quite honest with you. What I care about is that they are absolutely not listening to these children when they're saying they felt uncomfortable, when they're saying that there was warning signs. And again, as I said before, I wholeheartedly believe that this was this man trying to see how far he could get with this little girl. And she put a stop to it right away and told. And that's where it needs to stop. Because they can't tell me that he wasn't trying to do things with her when other students are coming forward saying that they felt uncomfortable. We need some wood chipper ads over here. The school board members respond. At the end of the meeting, board member Carol Berry addressed the crowd. I will not be silent, she said. If there's injustice, I will fight for what's right. Berry said she had received many calls since the Vetter situation, but that the board must wait for law enforcement to finish their investigation before beginning its own. I don't believe that. Why are they waiting? The longer the time that goes by, the less evidence you're going to collect. In any crime, it is so important to gather evidence right away. But they're letting those opportunities pass by. This is a huge cover-up, in my opinion. Because they're waiting. They're waiting. No, they need to do it immediately. Immediately. Mayberry also spoke, saying, no one of us would be here if we weren't loving and caring and concerned about children in our district. Then act like it. He noted that the board serves as part of an appellate process for employees and student discipline. If members publicly comment on a case that later comes before them, he said they would be required to recuse themselves. So there you have it. This is just brand new information on the subject from yesterday. And parents are not pleased. Parents are not pleased at all. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Jane says another child and they denied. Oh, here, maybe I missed the first part. Definitely corrupt. Definitely cover up. Definitely. Oh, well, we're not going to gather any information until the authorities do. Well, that's way too late. Hey, all that is unseen. Sumner Schools has so many SA cases too. Football players at HHS and locker room. Yes, we went over that. Oh, Jane. Oh my gosh. I was in tears that day because that was just so incredibly sad what that young man had to go through. Custodian giving a phone with pictures to a 5th grade girl. Oh, I didn't hear about that one. Young girl at Burris Elementary essayed long term. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Oh, by another child, and they denied the victim request to change schools. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They always take the cover up route, in my opinion. I was told it's because of the cost to fight the union who must defend the teacher and and protect them. So without misconduct, they will cover. Oh, KJ, that makes a lot of sense, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that does make sense. Yeah, because the teachers are, well, they're union. Wow. So it looks like more action has to be taken at a higher level. I think if the parents were to go after the union, that might make some sort of a difference. It could. Although unions do have more money to fight than, these parents do probably. I know, I don't understand why they're not holding anyone accountable at all, Holly. She shouldn't be on the board anymore and he should be out on his butt, you know? Yeah, that's all we need to know is that he was showing his peen, right? I mean, Sam, I'm right there with you. Ugh, I know, I know. We need to follow up on all of these stories. They're coming out so fast, Sam. It's so crazy how fast they're coming out. Even the different DFS where the kids are sleeping in. Here, I'll show you guys because I do believe I shared that one out. So just give me 1 second. Because I think it is on my posts. And this was just cut from a couple of days ago, even that I posted it. Okay, here we go. And this is so sad. I need to make these into videos because I know you guys don't check the community posts as much. But this one was a really good one. Hold on 1 second. Let me go to this.
I just want to show all this so people see what I see. I mean, I'm getting all kinds of tips and mail and all kinds of stuff. And people need to understand what is going on. The state has said over and over, kids are not sleeping in offices. And yet I have been inundated with information that says just the opposite. And it seems to be getting worse. I have gotten all kinds of pictures from employees there on the scene who are giving me sort of heartbreaking looks inside what's going on.
Okay, guys. So, I mean, this does not look like a normal situation at all. Hey, Nanny, good to see you. Um, Look, they're saying we're not having kids sleeping in the offices. Well, are the adults sleeping in the offices? Because someone is. I mean, we have a boardroom with a mattress, right? Up against the wall. We have just a regular office with a mattress laid out. Another one with a mattress, a single. But then you have these big double beds. What the hell is that about? I mean, this is unacceptable. And then you want to say that the children aren't staying there, then why are there personal effects in the room? Why are there little shoes in there? I mean, you could see them. Look, unbelievable. All of their stuff. Yeah.
Look at this picture. This is from Bradley County. This is a kid who put sticky notes on a DCS office window. It says, "I am sad," over and over again. "I am sad, I am sad. I want to make a phone call." Weeks after this, there was a 911 phone call from a DCS employee about an 11-year-old child who attempted suicide. I mean, listen to what the worker who was there said.
He's also threatened to run away multiple times. Unfortunately, these kids are currently stuck staying at the office for 24 hours on days on end right now due to just some stuff that's happening with DCS right now.
That's one county.
Right? That's just one county. As he's saying, that's just one county, guys. And them saying that this is not happening, and then they get a 911 call from a child saying, "We're here 24 hours. We're stuck here." The other writing notes, "I'm sad. I'm sad." Over and over. "I want to call. I want to make a phone call." Yeah, and it is. It's absolutely everywhere, Sam. You're right. These are not isolated incidents at all. Hello, Bluegrass Meadows. Good to see you. No, these are not isolated. And Jane says employees are probably afraid to lose their jobs if they talk. People who can't pay for food and shelter if they lose their jobs. Exactly, Jane. And that's the saddest part, is that they're afraid to stand up because then they're going to be in a position themselves, right? And then also a lot of these people are such good people that they will put up with this shit, and then they will be whistleblowing behind the scenes because they feel like if they leave, then they're leaving the kids behind. It is absolutely a horrible predicament for these social workers to be in, right? And then on top of it, they have to lie and say this isn't happening. And again, anytime people want to brush shit under the rug, it's going to come out the other side. I mean, unbelievable. And thank God for this man for putting it out there.
That's one county. That's Bradley County. I'm getting stuff from all kinds of counties. This is an envelope that was just mailed to me. And it came with a letter that said, this is what's happening in Robertson County. Kids are staying in offices. These are pictures of foster children, how they are currently living in Robertson County. They are only provided showers 3 times weekly. That's what this letter says. So in Robertson County, their beds, there's a whole schedule for kids. Their lunch, free time outside. Another indication, they're just staying in offices and they have a whole schedule. So what's happening here? What's happening is we have seen fewer people get into foster care.
Okay, guys, so he's going to talk about more about how, you know, we need good foster families to take kids in as well. And I can't say that that isn't a huge factor in this, but I just want to go back. When they say that these kids are not staying, look, this is proof. Breakfast, snack, lunch. Okay, so I'm not saying that these kids are being abused per se, but we don't know that. This is just something on the wall. But this is proof that they're staying there. This is proof that whoever is telling them that they're staying there isn't lying, but they're absolutely staying there.
Their lunch, free time outside.
And moreover, again, their personal effects close up. Their teddy bear, their bag, right? It looks like some journals, some coloring stuff on the bottom here. And they're living on a sleeper sofa.
Another indication, they're just staying in offices and they have a whole schedule. So
look at all of this. Look at all of their bags, all of their stuff just lined up on the table, right? Wow. Their little robes. If they're staying overnight, they have their robes, their pajamas. Of course, I mean, this is clear.
What's happening here? What's happening is we have seen fewer people get into foster care. So the state takes these kids out of dangerous situations, take them out of homes where they're abused and neglected. They have no foster family for them to go to. And so they wind up staying in an office. But it's not for one night. It, like that 911 call said, it's for days on end. And it's heartbreaking what we're seeing. Some people might say, well, that's better than the situation they were in. And that may be true to some extent. But it's heartbreaking that the state can't find a legitimate placement for these kids. The state said 2 years ago, they're out of offices, but now they're back in. And it seems to be getting worse. We talked to officials who said, boy, we're seeing it more than we've ever seen it. What is the solution? That's a great question. Right now, there are 2 lawsuits the DCS faces. These are class action lawsuits. There are 13 foster kids who are suing the state of Tennessee and suing DCS, saying the state needs to put more money into foster care. The bottom line is we need more foster parents. We need more people who are willing to step up and say, I'm going to foster a child. Now, I have talked to plenty of foster parents who said, we wanted to do that, but we didn't get the support we needed from the state. We didn't get the support from the Department of Children's Services. We'll take a kid, but we want to know the truth about what we're getting. And we want to know that we'll have help when it comes to getting the medical care and mental health counseling. And we haven't seen that. I feel like there's real deficiencies there on the part of the state when it comes to supporting these foster parents. So the numbers, they've gone down. Since the pandemic, we have hundreds of fewer foster parents than we did prior to the pandemic. Some got out because of the pandemic, but those numbers have kept going down. And part of that is, some would say, the lack of support from the state, from the department for these foster parents. I've covered this for a
Okay, so again, guys, you know, there's 13 kids. They've decided to sue DFS, right? They're taking a stand. God bless them for it. Really? I mean, good for them. Good for them. But then, you know, he's saying here that we need more foster parents. We need more people that are willing to step up. But then again, when these people are willing to step up, they're not given the resources, right? And we all know that if you decide to take in a child and you're not taking care of them, that's just as neglectful as a parent not taking care of them. So it's a real issue. It is a real issue. It's just one of those things that is so disheartening, and it can feel like it's an uphill battle, right? Because we need more foster parents, but if foster parents say they're going to do it, they're not getting the resources they need. They're not getting the support in order to take care of the children the way they need to be taken care of. So then they're right back in a neglectful situation, if that makes sense.
Long time, and it's heartbreaking. We have DCS employees who are scared to speak out, but they're reaching out in whatever way they can. But it's not just DCS employees, it's foster.
Right. So he's saying that the DCS workers are so afraid, but they're not speaking out, to their bosses and things like that. They're speaking out in other ways, again, whistleblowing. And Jane's telling us as well about, that when you are a whistleblower, you are frowned upon, right? It's not always the most, how do I say it? I won't even say glamorous, but I mean, you would think that if you did the right thing, then you'd have a pat on the back, that people would be applauding you for doing the right thing. Thank you for doing the right thing. But it's not always like that, right? You can get blackballed for doing the right thing. And then again, these people, this is what they went to school for. This is their career choice. This is what they want to do. And they wanted to help children. And here they are stuck hurting children by being quiet about what's happening here, right? And obviously that little person was very much in their feels when they were talking about this, right? They're sad. They want to make a phone call. They don't want to be trapped in this room by themselves. It's got to be very scary.
Parents, and it's all kinds of different people who are heartbroken. I had someone tell me the system is failing, but no one cares.
Right. The system is failing, but no one cares. Hey, Paige. Yeah, the system is failing and no one cares. And that's, again, how you would feel like you're just in an uphill battle, right? And you don't want to lose your job, and you don't want to lose access to the kids who you are helping out, because there's no doubt in my mind that these people are going above and beyond and going the extra mile and helping these kids when they need, when they see fit. But there's just too much of a demand, right? That they can't meet the demands of what they're trying to do. It's absolutely heartbreaking for those that are very much trying to help.
What I want to do is just shed a light on a system that cares for the most vulnerable kids in our state. How we care for this kid says something about who we are as a state. And over again, I'm seeing that we're failing. I mean, we see it from those on the inside, we see it from kids, and I think even people on the inside would agree things have to change. If people trust me enough to reach out with this stuff, then I want to share it. I want to share it in a way that people can see it. And this form gives me an opportunity to do that. And DCS, they're not bad people. They are doing the best they can. But these are very challenging times. And the way to deal with it is not to pretend like it's not happening. The way to deal with it is to show it and talk about it. And
I agree. I think the only way to deal with it is to show it and talk about it, right? Because it's just so very important that we do, because they're relying on us to help them. He didn't put those she didn't put those sticky notes on the door, just because they are bad kids and they didn't want to be in there. I mean, this was 7 months ago, August 25th, 2025. News Channel 5 investigates Ben Hall has spent years reporting on internal issues within Tennessee Department of Children's Services and its impact on foster kids. Take a look at the photos sent to Ben directly from DCS staff who are ringing the alarm, trying to highlight the heartbreaking measures taken inside government offices. From air mattresses and cubicles to makeshift schedules for playtime and showers, see the obstacles the children are faced with at DCS struggles to find long-term solutions. Now, some of these people are giving, showers and baths to these kids, but are they qualified to do something like that? That's another thing that's very terrifying, in my opinion. When we're talking about someone taking advantage of the position of power they're holding, it's absolutely frightening. I mean, who are these people that are taking care of these kids? Are they experienced enough to do so? Are they the DCS, excuse me, workers themselves, or are they bringing in people to help? And 3 showers a week, that's really rough. These poor kids. Well, and exactly. They age out, Holly, and that's another big problem, right? Is that they're aging out of that system. So, thank you, KJ Mack, for being here. I'm so glad you're here. She says, "Don't let these creeps, abusers, and those who enable them get off the hook." Good night. I know, KJ, we can't, right? We have to talk about it. I think that's the most important thing. Um, Oh gosh, I wish I was a lawyer too. All that is unseen. I'm sure I can argue enough. It's just knowing all the laws, right? Because it's tough, and that's another thing. Some lawyers are so good that they find legal loopholes and things, and that's why we have to be so careful. I understand that police are in a tough position, um, a very tough position when they're trying to do what's right, make the arrest, right? And then after that, there's not a lot that they can do. It goes to the prosecution or the DA, right? And that's where they have to hope that they got enough evidence and they can come in and be a witness to this and all of that. So um the Millersville stuff. Jane, I have not forgotten about that, and I know it's unreal. It's unreal. Jane says our superintendent and multiple school board members who got money from Vic Flanagan. Remember Millersville, the trafficking, yeah, ring attached to Arizona. That man Flanagan has moved to my county and donated to most school board members' elections. Our superintendent has publicly supported Craddock for election. Yeah. And that's the problem. And we know how sheriff thinks about these crimes, right? What he really thinks, what he really feels like about these crimes that we're talking about specifically. Oh my gosh. I can't believe some of the parents, Holly, either. Holly says they would also drop the kids off right around the holidays and then take off on vacation with their biological kids and leave the foster kids at the psych ward. Oh my gosh. I mean, that there's no excuse for that. No excuse for that. And that's the thing too. We do have to watch who we give these kids to in terms of the foster care system because some of them do just do it for the support checks and they're not trying to take care of the kids at all. Tennessee has a history of covering up cases involving children from the 1970s. Remember, I told y'all the Lore Lodge video. Oh, yeah. I need to go back and watch that, Sam. I need to go back and watch that Lore Lodge video for sure. Yeah, shame and guilt erase the evidence. Exactly all that is unseen. That's why I'm just not believing this crap with this teacher. You know, there's no reason to be swiping anything on the phone. I don't see why he was showing her anything to begin with on the phone. If they were going to show something about a science project, it should have been on the computer. They're too la-di-da with these phones. Miss Ann says it's like that here too in North Carolina. They don't care about the kids. They just leave them with abusive parents. See, and it makes me wonder about Sebastian Rogers specifically. Is it because they're so overrun and they didn't have any room for him, so they felt like that was the solution, was to go ahead and keep him in the house with Katie and make Chris leave, and that would have solved part of the problem, right? If you take Chris out of the equation, or Chris said, "Hey, I'm going to be leaving and I'm going to be staying in Memphis on a project. I'm going to be gone for a while." Is that because, is that the reason why Sebastian fell through the cracks? It makes me wonder. because they saw that, okay, Katie has a clean house with food in it. Because, I mean, obviously, he has what he needs. He was showing up to school. It's not like he was truant at school or anything like that. So is that why they just left her? I know. Where are they showering? Exactly, Sam. That's another thing. Where? Right? I mean, because last time I checked, the DFS office doesn't have like a bathroom like that, like a full bathroom, in order to use the shower and whatnot. I wonder if they're taking him to like the YMCA or something, or oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The system has placed foster children in awful conditions. Yes, wait, what? They have. And we need to hear the good things of fostering and have examples of what success is, in my honest opinion. Yeah, I agree with that too. You know, the foster parents should probably go through classes and be kept under some sort of a watch themselves. It's not good enough to just place these kids wherever and just leave them. It's just not. It's not good enough at all. Yeah, I know they said the ring might have been connected to Sebastian. Yeah, I did see that, Jane. Don't get me started on the group homes, not at all, but I saw some that were something of out of a nightmare. Oh my gosh. I mean, and that's the thing. How do we know that these kids aren't being hurt overnight, by the so-called person, who's delegated to stay overnight with these kids? Um, I mean, even older kids can harm younger kids, as you were saying too earlier, Holly. I mean, that's something that they absolutely have to watch. And if they're hiding it and they don't want people to find out about it, that's precisely where someone can get in and take advantage of a situation, right? Because they're denying that they're even staying there, even though they are. Yes, Devin, I agree. The judges are corrupt and sick. Absolutely. I would really be interested to know the comparison of the good CPS has done compared to the bad they've done. Well, and the thing is, Holly, is it's so hard to find any of it because they keep it under wraps. They absolutely keep it under wraps. It's like even the good stuff we never hear about. We barely ever hear about the bad stuff. But I think that would be a good comparison to see what needs to be worked on. And I mean, I would say everything from more foster parents to homes, because most foster homes are temporary, right? It's unless they're going for adoption, they're typically going to be just housing the kids for a little while until they find placement. um it's just so sad. It's just so incredibly sad. They very well might be, Miss Ann, because they could have ties to each other, right, through these big rings. And Tennessee is a hub, um, most definitely. Oh, I know. Oh, me too. But it's just so sad because these kids do not deserve it. And, some of them are such, I mean, I'm not going to say all of them are perfect because they probably have a lot of trauma, but all of them are such good kids, and having to endure what they have to endure by being taken out of their family and then put into a room at DFS. I mean, if you're going to take the kids away, then you had better had a better solution for their situation. Now, some might say this is a matter of life and death, though, and these children had to get out of this house, and it's better for them to be living in the office than it is for them to live with the parents in many situations. I mean, I can say that about Sebastian Rogers. Obviously, he was not safe living in Chris and Katie's house. He just wasn't. So, Sam, it's something in the water. We have some schools of choice in some districts. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, so I'm not saying that they're all bad across the board. I want to know whose pick that was for and who it was previous. Well, I was thinking the same thing, Sam, who it was previously sent to. Sorry, guys, can't read today. Yeah, I was wondering that too, because it seems like they've been together for quite a while, and usually that's something you do if you're in a new relationship than if you've been together for a while, because you've already seen all of that. You've already seen everything. So it usually doesn't turn on a wife like it would, a girlfriend, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if that was she knew about it because he sent it to her or what. Yeah, it is crazy. Well, and the thing is can you imagine half of these parents say they were taken away for not a reason that they should have been, because I think that happens a lot too. And then they find out that their kids are sleeping in offices and taking showers in front of people they don't even know, and it's not okay just to have a female in there helping or whatever, because we all know that females are predators as well, you know? Oh my gosh, I know. And it looked like there were several kids, right, in that one office, because all of their belongings were kind of set up, here's this person's stuff, here's this person's, and oh my gosh. I know, Jane. I question it too a lot. Um, I mean, this is where I'm thinking, Sam. I mean, it's like that's where we get into a really sticky territory, And again, where are they taking them to do this? Are they doing, bird baths in the, bathroom because it's just the, sink? And oh my gosh, our schools had 2 beds in the nurse's office area only. Yeah, that is crazy. I know. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, and these are supposed to be DFS offices or DCS offices, That's true, Sam, free will. And I think a lot of it too is that, it's the good versus evil, If we believe in God, then we believe in the devil, and he's always working, unfortunately. But it's up to us to protect our children. That's right. Yes, borrowed children while we are entrusted with yeah. Well, and that's the thing. We are, as society, responsible, even if they're not our kids. I feel like we need to make sure that they're being taken care of. Oh, CPS here calls to schedule an appointment with the person reported. Oh no, Sandy. Well, that's a good time to get everything together in order before they come. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Mama says 100% Sam. Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with that, Mama. I do. I think that's it. Hey, Andrea, good to see you. Yeah, all different age children and genders. And that's what's, again, is scary too, because you think about a child who has never gotten help or who has been abused themselves, and then they're around these other children and they're a role model for the other children. And then people wonder why kids are acting the way that they do. It's because they're learning these behaviors off of the older kids and they're not being properly taken care of. It's absolutely sad. It's absolutely sad. And again, this is all kind of part of what we've been talking about lately with DFS and how they failed Sebastian Rogers, because I really feel like they did with 4 reports that they closed. So they had to have closed them and said, okay, well, there was issues, but we cleared them up, or this issue was unfounded, or what have you. But they closed 4 of them and then they reopened 1. So if we're looking at them reopening the last one that is still open, that Seth cannot have access to just yet, I think it says a lot about what's really going on. I think that, again, they're using some very unorthodox methods in order to keep some kids with their parents, with the parent, because they don't have room for them. With Sebastian having the rare chromosome deletion, with him having autism, that is more of a challenge, or that's a child who comes with more challenges, right? Because taking Sebastian out of his environment would be detrimental to him, just based on that, right? Just based on that little thing. It's big for Sebastian. And so I think that had a lot to do with the decision making process, or lack thereof, right? They're like, well, we're not going to take him. He's autistic, right? I mean, I hate to say it, but it seems like that could have been a major factor. Holly says, Sam, yep, and I saw young kids come in that looks good and bright and happy, and after a few years of coming in and out of the hospital through the system, they look dead in the eyes and beat down. Oh my gosh, Holly. And that's it. A lot, yeah, lots and lots of kid on kid SA. Yeah, because they're never given the opportunity to heal, and then they're going into another bad environment, and they've never been able to get the kind of counseling and understanding that they need. And I'm not saying everybody that has had that happen to them does it to someone else, but when they're kids, I think it's more common than we would ever want to think, because no one wants to think about that. But I think it absolutely happens all the time. And I think that other little kids are learning those behaviors as well, and then acting upon them. And it's not their fault. A lot of kids would be sent off to the psych hospital for showing just normal emotions about the situations they're in. Well, and that's another thing too, Holly. It's like, is it really a mental health problem, or is it the environment, the toxicity they're living in? Because I know that anybody that is living in a toxic situation is not going to get better. It's going to get worse. So, I mean, that's a really interesting perspective as well, because I mean, yes, you're going to feel sad if you're going through something horrible. You're going to feel you're going to go through a range of emotions, right? You're going to feel all types of different ways if you're living in a stressful situation, especially if you're being taken out of, where your family system is, because that's what your normal is. And then getting out of that and being put into that dysfunctional situation is terrible. Yeah, exactly. Open means it's closed, right? Yeah, exactly, Sam. Anyone who thinks this isn't good versus evil is a NPC and part of the problem. Yeah, I mean, I just think that that's a big part of it, right? It's like we have to stand up against it, because there's always going to be something to stand up for, especially when we are in that situation where we have good versus evil. Devin, I think that's part of it. Yeah, Cinderella, it is. Good to see you, Cinderella. It's just sad. Miss Ann says the DSS here in Macomb County, North Carolina, was investigating about 20 years ago here for what we're talking about now. Yeah, and see, that's the thing, Miss Ann. I wonder if it's like something that we just are hearing more and more about because of the information age, and that things can travel so fast from place to place, or something can go viral, or however, something posted on Facebook, it's shared, and we're all seeing more and more of it coming out. It makes me wonder if it's something that is new. But you're saying 20 years ago. I mean, it's absolutely been happening for years and years. Yeah, and more needs to be done about it, especially when we know about it. If we didn't know, then there's nothing we can do if we don't know. But once we know about it, we can absolutely make a difference. I was very proud to see the family. Well, I'll say, I think it was a mixture that showed up to the board meeting, but I was glad to see that they decided to stand up for what they believe in. I think it's so important, and for their children, because again, if this was an accident, that man would not have deleted the picture off of his phone. And furthermore, I do believe that they'll be able to find this picture and retrieve it even if it's been deleted. So maybe they need stronger rules about teachers showing their phones to kids, because I think that's a big problem as well. But we will continue on trying to figure this out. Um, Again, I'm working on a video I want to put out hopefully this afternoon. I'm just trying to find some clips to go with it. Um, oh my gosh, it's so sad, Holly. Um, Speaking about Sheriff Craddock specifically, saying how they do stuff so much better in Hendersonville, so much better in Sumner County, but yet we're seeing a lot of situations where, again, there's people bringing, firearms to school. Um, there's a lot going on. And for him not to address the issues, I have an issue with that, because he should be going over the good, bad, ugly, right? Here's the good things that we're doing, but we're also working to fight this, right? But instead he talks about traffic and how, this is horrible part of our society. No, it's not. Traffic isn't the worst thing that you got going on there, right? But those are the things that he'd rather talk about instead of talking about what's really important. Women's Warrior, good to see you. Women's Warrior says, lady, what is terrifying here is abused kids of all ages placed in unsupervised and SADV. Yeah, it's about power and control. Poor kids are put in survival of the fittest situation. In my opinion, I feel sick. Yeah, and I mean, I think that that's a big part of it too, Women's Warrior, especially when you see these areas where these kids are cooped up. They're inevitably going to be put into a position where they have to survive, right? And some of these kids are older than, and they're littler ones, and they're not the best ones to be around the littler ones. um so it's something that we need to focus on, I think. And again, we're seeing these same elements in Sebastian's case, right? And we're seeing a sheriff who likes to downplay everything and act like it doesn't exist. But we all know it exists, So Sam says it makes me wonder what Snuggle is trying to avoid from his past with not speaking out. Yeah, I think so, Sam. I think a lot of it, and two, he references Sebastian's case, but he doesn't say Sebastian's name. He doesn't talk about his case specifically, and that being, a stain on his reputation. So either he doesn't see it that way or he's trying to hide it. And I think a big part of it is him trying to hide it, but I also think that he's so arrogant that he doesn't even see it as being an issue. He thinks that he can make up for it by going on a podcast and pretending like their biggest problem is traffic. But in reality, we all know what their biggest problem is. It's that they haven't found Sebastian, and they're no closer to finding him than they were in the beginning, in my opinion. Or there would be searches. Devin says, I'm new here, don't live in your area, but shows like this do make a difference. Everyone like and share. It really does work. Thank you, Devin. I appreciate that very, very much. And I'm glad you're here. I think it's important too, and that's why I changed a little bit of the show that I was going to do today over to this, because again, it's been going on for a month, and today my phone just blew up with it, which is a good thing, because we do need to spread awareness about it. The more it's hidden away, the less we can help with it, so thank you, Devin. Women's Warrior says, in most cases, the children were probably safer in the home they were taken from. Yeah, and that's not lost on me either, Women's Warrior. It's not, because again, if they can't take care of the kids, then what do they do in taking them out of the house? And I do think that that has a big role to play in Sebastian's case. I think because they weren't in as dire straits, right? I mean, heavy abuse in Sebastian's home, no doubt. But just on the surface, it seems like there wasn't really a big reason to take Sebastian out of the equation, right? Out of the home, except for the fact that there were some really, really bad situations going on. And I think it just speaks to, even if the child has all of their basic needs met, if they're being abused, it's time to step in. And the fact that Sebastian's father was never notified by CPS was a huge fail, or DFS, or however they say it. We all kind of know it is CPS, so that's why I call it that, but it is called DCF, I believe, there. Either way, it's the Department of Family and Children's Services. They're supposed to be the ones that are coming in and helping, not making the situation worse. I agree. Thank you, Andrea. Yeah, Cinderella. I mean, it's a big one. It's a big one, you know? Aw, thank you, Chuchi. You guys are awesome. I do, right? All this unseen. Says, welcome, Devlin. Buckle up. Lady Freedom speaks frankly. Yeah, I do. I know. I try to kind of curb it a little bit because YouTube's been getting mad at me lately. But, I mean, it's these tough subjects. They don't like to, well, advertisers don't want to advertise words. That's why I don't want to downplay who these people are. But, if you hear me call them a Chester cheetah, that's because, I'm lightening it up for YouTube, because they don't like to hear it over and over again, who these people really are, which I think that is a big problem too. Not YouTube themselves, but just the fact that, I think there needs to be more advertisers that are willing to put more dollars into getting the word out, more awareness, because these are issues that don't go away. Like Miss Ann said, 20 years ago, they were investigating the same situations, So, yeah. And I mean, I think that I know that if Seth would have known about it, he would have taken him. Yeah, exactly. Well, they should have left him with no choice. And Katie shouldn't have been able to just play it off like, Sebastian's dad wasn't in the picture, because that's how I feel like it was done to DFS, right? I do. I think that Katie was pretending like it was just her, Chris, and Sebastian, and not because if DFS knew that there was a father, then they had to have gotten a hold of him. I mean, that's just like proper protocol, unless DFS decided that they knew about Seth the whole time and they didn't want to give, him any information, which again is not right on any of their parts, Katie or DFS. But if I just look at it from a mom's perspective, I think to myself, well, she should have told Sebastian's father, she should have asked for help if it was too much, but then you see how Chris and Katie are very much control freaks, and who knows, maybe Katie wanted to tell and Chris didn't want to, you know? So, all that is unseen says we are from all over. Yes, the U.S. and Canada mostly, but I've seen people from everywhere in here. True crime chats again. Welcome. Yeah, I mean we do. We have a lot of people too in the UK and also in Australia. So like our night shows are really for our people in other areas too, because a lot of times it's early morning for them at this time. Um, so, but yeah, I mean, we're from all over, and yeah, a lot of people from Canada, exactly. Um, we have had important conversations. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, to be honest, well, don't say to be honest, because that's gonna make me think a side eye. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, it is. It's important to have conversations. It's not my favorite subject. Trust me, when I saw this, I was like, oh no, oh no. But again, if we talk about it like in succession, I think it's a good thing that it's coming out as it is, instead of it being like an isolated incident and then we hear about it again and people are like, well, it's been a little while since we've heard about something bad happening. But I mean, just one after another. And again, I was still working on the young kid bringing a firearm to school, because that was right there in Hendersonville. But then today I was like, oh, this is Davidson County, right? And then there's a rivalry between Davidson County and Sumner County, which is odd to me too. I don't know what that's about. If they don't like each other's sheriffs, or the sheriffs don't like each other, but it's still odd. It's like then we have this like weird back and forth hostility between the counties, and law enforcement is not good. It's never good. Yes, I know, Sam. Oh yeah. And they were married. Sam says Seth is on Sebastian's birth certificate, right? I mean, I don't understand where that I'm still unclear, I should say, about how that transpired, right? Like not how was Seth not notified? So, yes, Women's Warrior. I know you're in the UK. Yeah. We are wonderful, caring, and kind community. Everyone welcome, everyone listen to. Only thing we ask is to be kind to each other. That's right, Women's Warrior. Yes, and I kept my background today. I figured I'll keep it in there. I like this one. It was the AI that they made, that StreamYard made, but it kind of does remind me a little bit of Tennessee with all the trees and stuff. So, aw, thank you, Devin. I believe that too. God works through people. You're making a difference. Thank you, Devin. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just so important to talk about these issues. And I love that you guys are giving such good feedback, I think it is, Jane. I think it is as common in UK, Canada, everywhere else. Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of I think a lot of the reason why we're able to talk more about it than other places is just having the freedom of speech part. But I think it's just as prevalent in other areas. I mean, I even have heard, like, when we've never really went over it here, but I've done research on like Jared from Subway and very well known Chester Cheetah. And he, was going to other countries in order to, abuse children because it's okay to do it there. Um, so I think it is. I think it's acceptable in some areas more than here, even. Um, was it Indonesia? I don't want to say the wrong country or put any heat on, or shade on a country that he wasn't in, but it was like one of the further off countries that he was going to. So all that is unseen says, I hate to say it, but in my opinion, the US might be the biggest toilet in the world. So disappointed and not adequate policy for the vulnerable. Well, and I just think it's wrong anywhere. So anywhere that we see this, we need to call it out, because it's just, it makes us wonder why we have generations of people that are having such issues, and it's like, okay, well, nobody's perfect. All families are dysfunctional, and I get that, and nobody is going to be perfect. There's never going to be that perfect family to emulate. I mean, even look at the 19 kids and counting. I mean, everybody thought they were just these good, wholesome Christian people that were just, loving and had all these kids. And then now you're finding out that there's so much internal abuse in there as well. So there are 2 in Knox County that are in jail for using kids. When is the 19-year-old from his former UT, and that was on WBIR Channel 10 from Knoxville 3 hours ago about this guy. And there's another one that's got a 23 to 24 counts. Oh, wow. SA battery and 3 counts of abuse and battery. Oh my goodness, Miss Ann. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Knoxville, Tennessee. or Knox County, excuse me, Knox County. Oh my gosh. It's just never ending, isn't it? The system in every county all over the world is struggling. Yeah, in my opinion, the UK care and court system was created to protect predators and enable the essay of children. Research is showing it. Oh gosh, it's so terrifying. Oh my goodness, women's warrior. See, and I think it's all, yeah, it's a big, we just need a barf bag, probably a bucket. Yeah, exactly. Forget the bags. We got to bring the buckets on because, oh my gosh. Well, thank you for sharing that too, Women's Warrior. And, because I think it's important to know it's going on everywhere. And what can we do to help change that? Right? I mean, there's got to be more to be done. If these people think they're going to have real consequences, I think that they would maybe curb it a little bit, but I don't know because there's so much research that's shown that they are never going to get better from this. And that's what's really disheartening to me because I would think, okay, well, maybe if this person gets counseling and they decide that to be better, but I don't think it's that easy. I just don't think it's that easy. Yeah, Montgomery County, Tennessee Sheriff's daughter just got 20 years. Oh my gosh. Wow. I don't think learning more geography is where I should be putting my focus. Right, exactly. Well, and I think so too, Cinderella says abusers and criminals have more rights than the victims. I think that's a big part of it. I do. I do. And then the victims have to be scared to come out because they'll have, that's why I try not to put a bunch of negative comments in the video. But I wanted to put some of what was being said. And again, I think that we really need to take a look at what's wrong with society when they're waiting for a girl to turn 18 and that kind of thing is very disturbing in my opinion because I'm here to tell you as a 43-year-old woman, if I'm looking at a 17-year-old boy, I am not waiting for him to turn 18 by any means. Like that is weird to me. I'm still seeing a young man, but really a kid. So I just don't get where that sick and twisted nature comes in. Because again, like I said, I could tell the difference between a 17-year-old young man and, a 34-year-old man, which would be probably my lowest limit. But I'm just saying you can tell the difference. I mean, they still look like a child. It's weird. It's weird and twisted, you know? Aw, thank you, Devin. That's so sweet of you. Thanks, Devin. She was abusing a child that her father and the sheriff had to have known. Really, Sam? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look that up. Oh my gosh, it's just never ending. It is just never ending. Yeah, we had to talk about it to wake people up, do research, speak out about it, and show receipts. Yeah, I have been totally shocked to my core, and it's got to be spoken on. Open eyes and stand together. Zero tolerance. Stamp it out. Only is the only way. Yeah, I think the zero tolerance thing too. Like I said, women's warrior, and I'm not trying to ruin anybody's life over an accident. I'm not, but I'm here to tell you there's something more to this in my opinion, and I think that he should have been taken out of the schools, go work someplace else, preferably places without 17-year-olds to show your nasty old phone to. Um, yeah, and then for the wife to be okay with it. That's another thing that we're seeing play out very, very, very often, too often, where the wife was either involved or had knowledge of it, which I think it's just as bad because I wouldn't be able to be okay with that. That would really not be okay for me. Like a deal breaker times 20, you know? So, yes, all that is unseen. I'm going to get positive vibes in this chat. There have been many missing people found this week and the last week or two. Yes, I've seen many in my feeds. Yeah, there has been a lot of people that have been found. And, I'm thinking that this year would be a good year for Sebastian's case. I really do. I think it's time. I think we need to figure this out. I do want to go back to the beginning. So we are working on doing like another Discord for the just kind of going over the details of the beginning of Sebastian's case, trying to put together the pieces. I have a lot of research too that was shared today, and that I've kind of been working on as well. I mean, there's a lot out there. So much has happened in Sebastian's case. Some has been fact, has been rumor. We did talk about that with Jules the other night. And I think that it's a good time to kind of go back to the beginning and see if there's something that we haven't, something that we all missed. Um, so, but yeah, I mean, it can't be that difficult. There's just something that, I don't know, there's something major that we've missed, I think. Um, 48 years old, Miss Ann. Oh my goodness. Yes, Sam, I'll be back tonight on my late show, so probably like 11:30 is what I'm going for. So we should be right back on schedule this week too. Um, oh, okay. So Jane, I have been trying to figure that out. The black Altima. So because I can't tell if it's him or not. I cannot tell if it's him from the picture. I think there was one picture that was really, really close that I was like, okay, I can see his beard and like his beady eyes were recognizable. Um, but I haven't pulled it in and put like filters on it and anything like that. People tend to get really pissed when I do that. So I was like, oh, maybe not. But yeah, because I can't fully tell if he's driving that. But then somebody else sent me like what looked to be maybe an Altima in their driveway at one point. So I've been kind of, trying to watch that. You know what I mean? Like I've been trying because I missed. I think last night's I did not watch, but I watched the one that Chris did before. So he had a cap on too. I can kind of see the cap too, Lisa. In the one shot. Now, has he shown the video? Because I think it's a video. I think it was him snapping stills of a video, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so I know I'm suspicious too a little bit. I don't know what to think. All that is unseen. I'm not sure. Like I need to see it like a little bit more. I mean, because I think we could all recognize him. I think we could all recognize him in a lineup. No, I'm just kidding. But I couldn't tell with the picture. Maybe I'll try to pull that in and see if I can't put. And I can't tell if the car windows are not tilted, tinted. I can't talk today. Give me 2 days off, and I can't talk on the third day. But yeah, so I just can't tell, but I can see through the window. So I'm like, maybe there's just a low grade tint on it. Ooh, that sounds good, Miss Ann. I love cabbage. Cabbage is healthy for you too. I don't remember them having, well, I thought maybe it might have been like one of Lori's vehicles or something. But Jane said, gotta see if DG, etc., Big D owned a black Altima. I know that the one guy had a white Altima. Or not well, I'm not sure if it was an Altima, but it was a white sedan. A white sedan. Yeah, there is a lot. There is a lot. Well, and I mean, if Chris is driving around a new vehicle, I mean, I wouldn't I don't know. I just wouldn't think that he would be driving the one that he took Sebastian in, but I don't know. I don't know because they're so cocky. You know, it almost seems like something he would do. Like, oh, I'm just gonna drive this around now, like no one's gonna notice. But then again, I do think it was said that all of the vehicles in the area that night were accounted for by law enforcement, but that doesn't mean they're gonna tell us, you know, anything either. So, um, the one pick or the oh, sorry guys, I thought I was gonna sneeze. The one I saw was a pic and it was taken recently. Yeah, I think it was last week, Lisa. I'm pretty sure Chris said it was last week. But I kind of just went to that part because I kind of know his theory and stuff like that. And so then I went straight to the part with the picture in it, and I was listening to that part only. So maybe I need to go back and look at the whole thing. I just don't have as much time to do it. Um, yeah, exactly. I know. I'm not very convinced, but I mean, I would like to know more, or I would like to see like the full dash cam. I know that's probably asking for a lot, but I just want to see the whole thing. Um, because the stills are hard. Stills are hard because if he was in motion or he was like turning his head or something, that can cause like a blur, and that sort of thing. But it looks like they were very close. Whoever took it was very close. Too. Women's Warrior says there's a professor or something who said people in authority who play down the seriousness of SA and change the ape to something else need their past looked into. Yeah, snuggle struggles. Yeah. Oh, I agree. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Women's Warrior. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting as heck. Um, yes. Oh, and I also wanted to tell you guys, and I do this a lot too, so I apologize, but I was in my email and I was writing people back, and then I came upon another email where somebody was asking me to be a part of, um, let me read it off. Give me one second. Okay. Was it this one? I just need to share it afterwards, but it's about taking out crama to save lives. So I wanted to share this out. Here we go. Because somebody did a bunch of research and did kind of a slide show to show the effects of the crama community, and they're not good ones, right? And I thought it was a really worthy cause, and I was really excited that this person wanted me to join in with them on spreading this awareness as well. So it's a Krama, destroy Krama and save lives. So I am really excited to work on this campaign with a friend here that has asked me to work with her on this. But I'm gonna show you guys the graphics that she sent over to me. I'm gonna do a video as well on that. So I'm gonna be working on that as well. Um, so I just wanted to share that out with you guys too while I was thinking about it because I almost forgot. Yeah, CP was helping a friend with a Honda or something, but I don't think this car is related. He would be laughing his ass off at all, yeah, all this line of suspicion. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I just don't know. I wish I could see it. Yes, all that is unseen. I know what you meant, CP. Yeah. Karen says Tennessee in general is sus to me when Summer Wells and or where's Summer Wells and what about the way they run their DCS? Who is responsible for auditing these uppers, as Candace Bly calls them? Yeah, really, the uppers. Karen, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I know. I completely agree. Holly says I agree. Chuchi agrees. I think it's funny that Casey Anthony moved to Tennessee. Yeah, really. That she probably felt safe there. She felt like this is my safe haven. Speaking of trauma, the JLR situation has been so awful if true. Yeah, it really has. I heard another version of the 911 call, Jane, and I'm convinced. I mean, I understand it's innocent until proven guilty, but uh in the court of my public opinion, I'm thinking that he absolutely had something. I mean, I think he has done things to multiple women. Whether he took it as far as he did with Magnolia, as others, I don't know. So, see, Jane, I played a portion of it. Um, I played a small portion of it, but then Plunder put out a longer version of it. So I was going to work to get that little piece out too. Because I think people need to hear it. That way they can make up their minds. I know that there's still a court date pending, but I don't know how much I'll be covering it that day because actually that'll be the 1 year mark for Devlin being missing. So I probably will cover Devlin and not JLR, but I'll probably wait and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we get any answers or if we have to wait. Unfortunately, in those situations, though, um, a lot of times those people are going to be supported either way. Unfortunately, not by me, but by others. Oh, yeah. I think SW was disposed of before her mom got back to the house, in my opinion. She didn't disappear from the house. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I know. The trials are heartbreaking because that's where we get all the information, right? All this unseen. That's the saddest part is that we get that information at the trial. And that's what I'm afraid of with Sebastian's case is they're keeping it closed. So we can't FOIA any information and then yet they still haven't brought up charges. I do think they're looking for Sebastian. Um, or excuse me, I do think that they're waiting to find Sebastian, but I don't think they're looking for Sebastian, if that makes sense. Like, I think that they're waiting for someone else to find him because they're certainly not trying, in my opinion. So, well, and that's a big thing too. Yeah, exactly. Well, because a lot of people, Women's Warrior says, I think it's important as it will potentially protect other women from having relationships with him, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. There was a lot of ladies that were sending him stuff, and that was another thing that was an issue between he and Magnolia allegedly. And that's why I'm like, we gotta rein it in a little bit because he's not a good guy. And he's proven that time and time again, in my opinion, just historically through his actions. So, yeah. No, his name is really Devlin with an L. Yeah, with an L. Devin, I know. Yeah. Yeah, his name is Devlin Tate. As a matter of fact, I do have a picture of Devlin back here. Um, I don't know what's going on with the polygraphs. Again, I haven't heard any word about it, and I don't really want to bug too much about it. But that's Devlin Tate. Um, Last seen April 21st, 2025 in Lake Odessa. In the morning, he was caught on camera at a grocery store. So he was caught in the parking lot and that was the last footage that they had of him, but then they deleted it. So it's a tough case. His last phone ping was in the area in the trailer park at 11:30-ish that night, 11:30 p.m., and he hasn't been seen or heard from since. So, the names are like alphabet soup. Yeah, no, but that is Devlin. I know a lot of people call him Devin, which is hilarious because all that is unseen. uh, it's funny because, people were calling him Devin. The one lady called him Devin, and if we were, to sit here and count how many times, it was at least 50. And I was like, his name is Devlin. So, um, but yeah, I think something, I- you know, I think something happened, and quite possibly, I'd like to, um, do a little bit more of a deep dive into some of the things that he was doing. Like, he was very much a part of the internet. And so I'm wondering if maybe he was lured, which is a possibility. So, oh yeah, definitely Holly. I mean, JLR, he's not a good one, and even his first wife was very pretty. And it's weird to me that, you know, he has these pretty girls because I don't see what they're seeing, my opinion. I did follow JLR for Sebastian's case and some other cases, just because he does go on the scene. But I just can't support it. To be fair, JLR has been given a chance. He was given a chance after he served his time, and he has gone on to allegedly harm more women. So his offense need to be spoken about. Raise awareness is important. Yeah, I mean his offenses. Yeah, and I think so too. Um, you know, New people get confused about the feet. I know. I just call them the Foot Clan most of the time, or I just call Chris Stepfoot. But many variations we can make. And yeah, Chuchi, I mean, it's just important to talk about it, right? I mean, a lot of people have talked about it, which I was glad to see that. I was glad to see a lot of people come out of the woodwork and, speak on it publicly. I think that's what's really necessary, to engage people in a conversation, but also, making sure that, we're respectful of Magnolia and her situation, as it pertains to this specifically. Again, I'm not here to dredge up her past of things. And again, I do think people change when they want to. I just don't think that they do it very often unless they really, really want to. You can't change another person, in my opinion, no matter how good you are to them or any of that. So, um, but guys, I will see you guys later on tonight, probably around 11:30, the latest 11:45. But I appreciate you guys talking about these really tough subjects with me and just being here to, let me know what you all think about it, because it's really important. And again, if I thought that this person had done this accidentally, we wouldn't probably be talking about it. I might let you guys know about it, but I might have had a more neutral stance about it. But I absolutely think that, this was covered up, and I don't think that we should be doing that. Yeah, see, and that's so true. I think that's the truth too. All that is unseen says one of the psychology experts was saying DV perpetrators are often charismatic. That was slightly surprising and disturbing simultaneously. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think that they do know how to be charming when they want to, and I think they do know how to, uh, lie very well and make themselves seem like they're not as threatening as they actually are. Yeah. And again, they're able to just smooth things over and make it seem like they weren't the ones, they really didn't mean it or what have you. You know, yeah, well said. Women's Warrior said, "Lady, that's what your channel is all about, raising awareness on the difficult subjects. The problems don't change. Yeah, and risk, yeah, don't lower if it's not spoken. Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you, Women's Warrior. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we just have to, right? I hate talking about these subjects, but Mama, thank you. I love you too. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Mama. I tune into plenty of channels. You do a great job. Aw, thanks, Devlin. Thank you. Oh, see, now I'm gonna do that. I've been working so hard not to say that, but here I go. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Devin. I appreciate you. Miss Lisa, thank you, Miss Lisa, and thank you guys so much for being here. Again, I will see you guys on our late night show.